In our last class, we had some issues with the interaction not working properly. So I fixed that such that this changes. So it's not working properly in Webflow previews, but in Webflow preview. I don't know why that is the case. I want to believe it's a bug with their platform. So, but on the live website, you can see it's working properly. So here you go. You can see that as this is like this is really, I don't understand why it is happening like that. So as this is showing up, the image is going to change. And as this shows up, the image is going to change. Yeah. So Emmanuel, let me show you the structure of the website. So that I can see properly. Now, here is the work item. Oh, sorry. I'm on the wrong section. It's actually supposed to be the testimonial. So here is the testimonial section. Then we have the container. And then we have the testimonial text, which is what is holding all of this. So inside of this testimonial text, you have each of the testimonies having their own container. So it's not like I am putting testimonial text as individual elements inside of the parent container. I am wrapping each of these testimonials, each of these ones, in a container of their own, which is this, and this. And if you come over here, you can see that I've given them a combo class, so that if I click on this, it changes to Jane. And if I click on this, it changes to Maria. So, Emmanuel, I would really want you to look at the structure again. If you're having any challenge, it's most likely because of the structure of your design. So, inside of this testimonial now, you have the testimonial itself, which is this, and then you have the name of the person who wrote the testimonial. So, these two are wrapped in a container and then wrapped in a parent container that contains other testimonials. So you can have as many testimonials as you want to showcase on your website. Yeah. So that way you ensure that now another thing I want you to quickly note is that this testimonial wrapper has some settings based on the display. So if you come over here to the display, you can see the settings that I have done. If you look at it, it's on flex and direction is vertical. That is, I want the item to stack on top of each other, and I'm aligning them to the center and justifying them to the middle. So you have to also look at this centralized, and this is also in the center. So for you to ensure, then another thing you have I used is that I gave each of these containers
Hmm.
an
I
height.
want to share for.
Sorry, please, can you move? I gave
Uh,
so I gave each of these containers 100 viewing port height. Each one has 100 viewport height. So it means that at any given time, these testimonials will cover the height of the screen. It will cover, you can see at the top here. So and you can see at the base here, it's going to cover the height of the screen. If, for instance, I want to show you how it works. If I change the background color from here to say this, so you can see now that it's covering the height, the full height of the viewport. The same thing for the images. So the images also have 100% viewport height. So I'm going to undo this such that if you come here, you can see that everything is going to be 100%. And then once the text, the other testimonial is coming up here, just watch, the image is going to change automatically. Can you see? So this is for Jane. Now you can read for Jane, and then as you move up, you can see that that of Ahmed also shows up. And once it gets to the height, you can start to continue to the other sections of the website. Yeah. So I'm quickly going to explain some of the things that I have done while we were away. So for the testimonial, when we go to the interactions over here, you have, I want to believe that you already understand how to start all of this. So this is when you scroll into view, you start an animation, and then you select the elements trigger. I mean the element you want to animate, which is in my case image 2. So image 2, which is for Maria. When you come over here, select this, like this, and then image 2. So I want it to be 100%, which is what I've done. And when I'm scrolling out, I want it to be at opacity of 0%. Now, what we were getting wrong the other time was the offset. So what the offset does is that when I'm scrolling out, when the base, when the bottom of this container reaches 50% of the screen, so once it gets to 50%, like maybe the middle, this is the middle, let's assume this is the middle, then this animation is going to occur. And what is the animation that I have set here? The animation is that this will reduce opacity to 0%. The opacity will fall, will change to 0%. And while that is also happening, I have also added another interaction to the second testimonial such that when this one, this one is at 50%, and once this one also reaches 50% of the viewport height, the opacity of image 2, which is for Jane, is going to turn 100%. And that means the images are switching without any spacing in between. The same thing is what I've done for testimonial 3, such that when it reaches the 50% height of the screen, the image is going to show up. So if you look at the preview again, so this is going to show up as the default. Now it's 100%, and this is 100% because it's 100% viewport height and it's centralized. So once it starts to move up, and for instance, let me do something so that we can be able to preview it better. Let me change the background color of this testimonial. Let me change the background color to say something around here. And then for this, I'll change it to say something around here. And for the last one, let's say we have something here. Now, let's go and preview our website. You can see that now this is the default. So this one moves up, and it's 100% of the viewport height at this moment. And then it starts to move. So maybe at this junction, this is about say 20% or 30. And at this point, it's about 40. And at this point, it has reached 50% mark. So you can see that's reached the 50% mark. So the next image comes up, and then this one moves up to take 100% height of the screen. And then as it starts to move, As it starts to move and then it reaches 50%, this one changes and then you can see. So that is what I have basically done to correct the issue we were having in our last class. So I hope that you're also going to go back and try that. Yes. So um publish it. All right. So something we want to do tonight um is a quick correction when it comes to responsiveness. So earlier on, I explained to us that at the base breakpoint, this is the default size for our design. So any correction you make on this base breakpoint is going to cascade down to the lowest screen size, and it's going to cascade up to the highest screen size. So, but here we do not have any other screen size apart from what we have here. So we are going to click on these three dots and then we're going to add new breakpoints. So this is the largest width that you can have. So it's telling us that once I have added this breakpoint, then I cannot remove it again. So let's just go ahead and add it. And whatever adjustments we do on this breakpoint, it's not going to affect the other breakpoints. But basically what I want us to achieve tonight, if you look at this place, you have the size at 1920 pixels. So that is basically too large. But then the base breakpoint that we want to work with is 1440. So basically this is how your design is likely going to look like. Let's actually add this, and let's also add this. So what I want to achieve is that when you are viewing your website on a very wide screen, you don't want your elements to keep expanding towards the base. You want your elements to be centralized, because if your element is too far apart, the content on the web page is too far apart, it becomes difficult for people to read the content of your website. So what we can do is, when we come to the breakpoint, the base breakpoint here, on our parent container, on the body all pages, we are going to set a maximum width for our design, and usually it's 1440 pixels. So if you go back and then view it on a wide screen, you can see that something is happening here. So it's like it is squashing it towards the right. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove this, and we're going to wrap everything. We're going to wrap some sections inside a container, so that that container is going to be given a maximum width, such that even if you are viewing your website on a large screen, it's still going to maintain the same dimension. So this is what we are going to do. Let me add a div block, and then I will call it max width. So I'm going to give it 1440 pixels. Yeah. So let's preview our website again. So one of the problems we might likely encounter is, okay, let me just do it and then show you some of the challenges that may actually pop up. So I'm just going to move this into here, all of it. So let's preview our website on a large screen now. You can see everything is squashed towards the right, which is not what we want. We want everything to be centralized. So on this Mac suite, you will come over here and under the spacing, click on this toggle. It's going to click on this icon. It's going to centralize all of your elements. So you can see the help text there, it says center element horizontally, but this requires what? A fixed width. And remember that we have added a fixed width to this wrapper. So let's go ahead and toggle this. It's going to now look better now. So you can look at our design now. Everything is now centralized. So if you are doing your website, it's going to maintain a fixed width even on a large screen. So that is like the proper approach to designing a website. You don't want your website to be too far apart when you're looking at it on a big screen. You still want everything to be centralized and neatly presented front and center to the person who is doing it. Yeah. But then there are some likely challenges that we might be facing, like where you have a section that has a different background color to the parent container. How do you go about doing that to ensure that this background can still flow towards the edge, but then the content inside is going to maintain a fixed width? So this is what we are going to do about that. Now, under this fixed width, we notice that it is our nav bar section that is giving us this the nav bar section and the hero section, they have a different background color. So how do we ensure that we can still maintain the content inside it, but then the background flushes towards the edges of the screen? So let's check which one is carrying the background color. So this is the nav bar section. Apparently it is not the nav bar section. So that means, let's look at it. So the one carrying the color is the nav bar container. Now what we have to do is we change this around. We remove the background color from the nav bar container and apply it to the nav bar section. So let's go ahead, let's copy this and then let's reset to transparent. And over here, the nav bar section, we're going to add that transparent, that color. Then let's check for our hero section. Okay, the hero section is the one carrying the background color. So now what we are going to do is simple. All we need to do is to remove the navbar section and the hero section with their with the spacer. So we remove this from the Mac suite, the spacer and the hero section. So let's go over here and view on a larger screen. Something, now know that this has returned back to normal, but if you look at it, the edges here are not aligned to the edges over here, and that is not what we want. So what we are going to do next is, inside of the navbar section, we are going to add a div and give it the class of this same max width. So let's go ahead and do that. And let's give it here max width. So let's move it to the top. And we'll now move the navbar container into your max width. Now do the same for, let's also add this inside. No, that's not what I want. Sorry. Let's also add another div inside of our hero and do the same approach. Max width. Now move hero container inside of the max width. Now let's look at what has changed. Good. Now if you look at your website, you now see that your elements are centralized, they are maintaining a fixed width, but then the background has flushed towards the edges. So that is the approach to doing that. Then the rest of your design still continues. Yeah. So those are some of the acts that we can put in place for our design. And if you look at our design on this on another screen size, if you look at it on this screen size, you'll notice that those changes were not affected. That is because if we make any change here, it's not going to cascade down to the lower breakpoints. We should have made changes on the base breakpoints, which would have really been the better approach. So the max width, let's come over here. Nice. So you can see that it's working now. So you can see that everything is working perfectly. Yeah. 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 Now we have not worked on the responsiveness for our tablet view. So let's quickly do that. Hero container. So we want these ones to be stacked on top of each other. So we change display to vertical. And then we adjust the padding. So let's give it a 20. Give this 20. And for the parent children element, we are going to remove the width and leave it auto. Remove the width and change it to auto. So then on the hero container, let's align this so that everything is in the middle. Also this, go to the text and align the text to center. So let's try and give some gap to the hero container. So we are tonight's class is just going to be a kind of a recap for our classes that we have been having. So I'm trying to work on the responsiveness. Let's reduce this to say 100. So this section, let's reduce this to 40 and add a gap of say 40 for the individual contents that we have there, and our spacer is going to be 100. Yeah, spacer is going to be 100. Then this also, let's change it up, remove, adjust the padding because you have been it on a smaller screen size now. So you have to adjust the padding, and then let's change it to vertical. Yeah, change it to vertical. So you might want to like increase the padding so that the elements, so that this text is not going to be too long. So let's change it back to say, let's make it 100. So there are different workarounds for all of this. It's based on what you want. So let's add row gap of 40. This column width is not going to be needed again. And yeah, so in this section, um, so let's remove this. Let's also remove this. So on the work list, we have added a row in between. So we are adding a row gap inside of it. So let's look at this and probably change this back to 40. This to 40. Then uh, let's adjust the spacing in between. Let's make this say 12 or even use 4. Now, obviously, we are not going to be needing that interaction on our on the tablet version. So what we can do is to come to that interaction by selecting those elements carrying the interaction and come over here. Look at the trigger settings. Do you want this interaction to show on desktop and above? Do you want it to show on tablet? Do you want it to show on phone and a portrait? So we don't want it to show on tablet, we don't want it to show on landscape, and we don't want it to show on portrait. We only want it to show on desktop and above. So it's going to affect elements, this base breakpoint, and above. So let's just that is done. So all we need to do now is now we are going to do some workaround to the display and positioning of our elements. These are the testimonials. Let's change this text container. Not that. The testimonials container. Let's change it to vertical so that they are stacked on top of each other. So testimonial text. This is then going to be auto, and this is going to be auto. Now, obviously, you can see that something is happening. The texts are showing first before the images, and that is not what we want to achieve. So how do we go about that? These are the images. So for each of the testimonials, we can go inside and paste our text. I mean our images. So let's go here and paste it. Then change the where is it? Images to change the position to static. Yeah, nice. So this is what we want. Let's reduce this to 40. and this to 40. So let's go ahead and do the same for others. Copy testimonial 2 and paste it inside. Copy this, paste it inside. Now let's put some spacing in between our elements. Testimonial text. I think we should remove this, or let's just add imagine. I don't think it's necessary. So let's add some to the vertical. Let's add some row gap, say 40, so that there can be gap. So we have that spacing in between. Then we have this. But now you can see that the original image that we have here is showing. So all we need to do is to come over here and hide it. Can you see now? You don't need to delete it. All you need to do is to hide. So that image is not going to show on the tablet version, but if you come over to the desktop version, you can see that there has been some mix up. So what you need to do is to go to the testimonials for each of the images. What we'll do now is we are going to add a combo class. Let's call it tablet, and then we hide it. Come over here, add it, and come over here, add the combo class. Yeah. So that image is not going to show on desktop and above, but now you have to do that adjustment again over here so that it can show. But then when you come over here, it's going to be hidden for you. So it's only going to show on the tablet version and below. That's why I added this combo class of tablets. So let's look at the other sections. Fine. I think the website is now looking better on tablet. What about mobile portrait? I think this is still okay. All we need to do is adjust this. Just change this to, if you feel like the height above is way too much, why not adjust it? Yes. So you might want to, this is just too much. I want to adjust this. Okay. So here we go. Yeah. So this is looking presentable. Let's change this to, yeah. Oh, I have to do that for individual stuffs. Right. So it's looking fine. And then um, let's do some checks and see if there are adjustments that we need to put in place. Yeah. So the images, um, Let's change up the testimonials and remove the viewport height and set it to auto. Yeah, and then let's give it say 20 and 20. Do the same for this. Don't forget to adjust this, remove viewport height, and this also. So these are minor changes that you have to make to ensure that your website is displaying properly on all screen sizes. So if you don't do this, your website may look great on the web or desktop version, but then when someone else views your website on their mobile phone or on tablet, it's going to look awkward. And mind you, most people view websites like on their phones because your phone is always with you and you're always on the go. So if you are designing a website to actually work better on desktop, you are not providing for a good user experience. You have to ensure that your website looks great on all screen sizes, be it large screen, medium, the base breakpoint, be it on tablet, mobile landscape, and mobile portrait. So let's just look at it again. It's looking great. Yes. So you can see how it is adjusting. Yes. Nice. Can you see that? So if I do something like this and I adjust it, everything is going to be adjusting automatically. So that is what we call a responsive design. Your web design has to be responsive, that it can be viewed on all screens and the user can have the same experience, be it on tablet, be it on mobile, and be it on desktop. Yeah. So now let's quickly look at publishing our website. So here now, I want us to look at this custom domain option. Now, if you have a website and you purchase, for instance, a domain from say GoDaddy or from Namecheap, and when you design your website in WebFlow, or you are working for a client and you design your website in WebFlow, and then it's going to publish to the staging domain that WebFlow automatically gives you, but then you want it to appear on that person's website. So let's go ahead and try to do that. So by clicking here, it's going to open up a new page for us. Now, this is where payment actually comes in when it comes to WebFlow. To be able to use custom domain on WebFlow, then you have to purchase either the CMS plan or the business plan. So the CMS plan gives you the option to add a custom domain, right? So let me just show you how I did it for my own website. I'm going to log out from this account and I will sign in. Okay, just let me bring this into this list. Just hold on for me. I'm going to open my account here. A minute, please. So my own account, I'm going to bring it here. So this is my own account, and these are some of the websites that I have created in Webflow. You can see. So this is my personal portfolio website. Let me open it. Just hold on until it loads. Yeah. So if you preview, okay, I don't know what is going on. Like I can't click on anything. Let me reload again. Actually, I do not know what is going on here. Like for real. Okay. So let me not use this to waste our time. I don't know what is wrong in this case. Uh, I think Webflow is having some buggy experience of late. Okay. It is actually strange. I'm just logging back. So like I said, you can only publish your website if you are on the if you are on the paid version of Webflow. So here you can learn how to set up custom domain. You can come over here and read it. I will share this link on the group page. I mean, on the chat page here. So let me just copy this and paste it in the chat box now. Yeah. So if you are curious to learn how to go about this, you can just come over here and read up all of this information to know how to go about that. But the first thing you need to know is that you have to be on the paid version of Webflow for you to be able to add a custom domain. The most popular one is the CMS plan, $23 per month if you are doing it yearly. But if it's monthly, then it's going to be $29. Yeah. So if you are working for a client, these are some of the things you need to also have in mind. The payment options, the payment for Webflow is going to be a yearly recurring payment. So if you look at $23 per month, that is around $237 per year or thereabouts, at least over $200 per year. So for instance, you have a client you want to work for, you have to be able to clarify to the client that you are only going to be charging them for your work that you are doing for them, the actual designing of their website. When it comes to the hosting and the payment for the plan for the website, the client must have full disclosure on that and they must know that they are going to be paying for that upfront. So it's not going to be something you are going to be adding to your charges, like to the cost you are going to be giving to the client. The clients must know that they have to pay for this from the get go. So you have several options for website. You have for e-commerce, whatever option your client wants, that's what you have to go for. Now let's come over here to the general tab, and here you can upload your favicon. What do you mean by favicon? These icons that show up on your web page. I remember talking about this in, I think, our first class. So this is where you come and upload it. So if you have a favicon you want it to show when someone opens your website and you want them to see this favicon, then this is where you come and upload it. Remember that the upload must be 32 by 32 pixel, maybe in the format of ICO, PNG, GIF, or JPG. And the option for the web clip is if someone saves your website, like for instance, you are saving a website to your home page from Google Chrome, then instead of it showing the Google Chrome logo, it's going to show this logo for your website. So these are some other things that I just want to like bring to our attention. Um, so all right, so let's go back and I think that will be all we have for tonight. So I will entertain questions now, and if you don't have any questions, that means we are coming to the end of our class. Yes, Emmanuel.
Yes, sir. I want to ask a question. How can you create form on Webflow?
That is actually a very good question. Hmm. Let's quickly go ahead and do that. Or let me just show you how you can do it. So a form on Webflow is an element like every other element you are going to be adding to your website. Um, Let me just add another div, like say contact us. Wait, sorry, div. Say contact us section. I want to put up a form there. So inside there you say, let's add the div and give it contact us. You know. So over here, come here and let us look at what we have here. So you have form is a section. So you have form here. So let's add it to this container. I'm not going to do much here. I'm just going to explain to us. So let me give this, say, 70. Nice. And then let me copy our spacer. Excuse me. Yep. Yeah. So this is our form element, and this is like basically it's automatically created for you. You have the name field, you have the email, and for instance, you want to add a section where the person can describe, say, um, I want to build a particular website, and these are the descriptions I want for the website. So if you come over here, you can see your form element, the field label, the text, the field label, and then the text. So all you need to do is to add another field label. So here you have this option to add a text area. So if I come over here, it says field. So now let's quickly do some settings here. On this field, which is for the name, if you want it to be a required option, you click on required. And you want it to have a placeholder, say enter your name. What type of form field is this? It's going to be plain. It's not an email, it's not a password, it's not a phone number, it's not a phone, it's not a number, it's just a plain text input field. Now for this, let me actually move this, or let me duplicate this and then move this over here. Uh, let's call this description. Yeah. So this is a field, and describe your business and you want it to be required, likewise you click on that, and then um, how do we contact you? Nice. So this is how you add a form. And if a user is coming to your website to send this form, Webflow has its own place where you can receive the details of any form that is filled on a website. If you come over here, if you select the form element and you come to the settings here, you can actually see all of this. So this is the name. Once someone has sent a form, this is the normal display, and once it is a success, this is what is going to show. Thank you, your submission has been received. You can style all of these elements the way you want. And what happens if the message could not be sent? If there was an error, then it's going to show here that oops, something went wrong while submitting the form. Maybe like try again, right? Now, where does this submit button lead to? Here you have options that when this form is submitted, I want this particular website page to be opened. So let's say let me say /about. Once you click on submit, then I want it to take me directly to the about page. So let me say, okay, let me change this back to normal. And let me click on submit. Okay, it's asking me to enter my name. Blah, blah, blah. Yes. If I click on submit, okay, it means I will have to publish my website before I can be able to do this. So I'm not going to do that in this call, but I want to go back. Okay, let me just publish it. Now, let me go back to the dashboard. Oh, I wanted to go to the project settings actually. Settings. When any form is submitted, the details will be found here. So it's telling me that the form submissions will be sent to this email. And there is a limit to how many forms can be received on this this particular website. If you are not on the paid version, you can only get a maximum of 50 form submissions. So let me open the website and reload it and try to send a form. Let's see what is going to happen. Nice. So here we say Olaolu, I have a emails. So I'm going to submit. It's telling me to wait. Nice. So did you see what just happened? Remember at the initial stage, I said that once that form has been submitted, redirect me to the about page. And that is what just happened. So let's go back to our Webflow page. Let's go to the settings and see what has happened under the form section. Nice. Did you see the details of the form that was submitted on my website a few seconds ago? You can see the details here. So if I also check my email, let me see if I can do that. Nice. Can you see? Webflow form submission. Can you see? So you can go ahead and also customize the display of this email, but that is beyond the scope of this class. So I just wanted to show you how you can go about like adding a form option to your website. That's it, Emmanuel. I hope that is clear, right? Oh, Emmanuel, is he still on the call? Emmanuel is no longer on the call. Yes. Do you have any other question?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah, I would like to ask if I don't know, I've not played around and I've not seen you talk about it though. That if Webflow could actually have some functionality like um or be updating comments, like we are making maybe a blog website, probably where people will have to comment in your website. So is there the functionality whereby when people comment, it actually pops up, and if you refresh the page, it actually gets to be in the page? Or probably you are making an e-commerce website whereby you have to add to cart all this stuff.
Oh yes. Let me start from the last statement you made.
Okay.
You have an e-commerce option on Webflow. So let me quickly show you. And then the first question you asked, Webflow at the moment does not have a native like comment feature. If you want to add that to your website, you have to use custom code. You have to use custom codes to be able to do that. But then this is the e-commerce option on Webflow. Now, let me close this and show you again. If you come over here, you can see this cart icon. So if you click on it, now what happens is that Webflow will automatically add two pages to your design. And these are the pages: products template and categories template. And then it's also adding checkout. If you are checking out by PayPal, if you are confirming your order, so you have all of these options for your design. Now for you to add uh, you can come over here and start to play around with the e-commerce options for web. Yeah. So AY, this Webflow has the e-commerce option. The reason why I did not actually talk about it is because um, it's beyond the scope of this class. It's
Okay.
a bit advanced beyond just the basic level. So, but I really advise that you take your time to tinker around with it, play around with it, and see what you can come up with. There are a lot of other features that Webflow has that are not talked about in this class. So, but I will advise us to take our time to explore and see what we can come up with. Yeah, that is really going to be helpful. Let's be adventurous, let's explore and see what we can achieve in Webflow. Yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much.